Kind of to that point, man. So we're talking moving into construction. What do you think about this new construction we're dealing with just across the country at this point? That was one of your Market Watch articles, right?
It was.
What are they talking about?
What they're basically saying is that
high margins.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That is a red flag to me right here. These two words.
High margin, man.
Yeah. Basically, the builders are focusing themselves on the higher end homes. They're making more because money's cheaper that they're basically going to make.
Not even higher end, Steve. High margin.
Right.
So they're using. Have you heard of this stuff called crick? You heard of that material?
No.
Hold on. Let me make sure I spell it right. Crick.
But one of the things that bothers me personally, and perhaps it's people will say because I'm a real estate agent and a broker, but what concerns me is there's some builders out there at the moment that are not paying agents commissions. And what people need to do is to be smart and say, why are they not wanting the agents to pay commission? Is it because they basically want to make more money on the house? Or is it because they don't want the buyer to be so educated about the buying process? My personal feeling is it's a bit of both. Because if they're a good agent, they know what to look for. They know about the inspections, they know about the drainage, they know about the construction of the roof. A good agent has specialists that they can bring in to give second opinions on different things. And there's some builders at the moment that just don't want, I was selling somebody yesterday 3 or 4 years ago. The builders were begging, to come to our offices for our office meetings and giving us all these fancy meals to get the agents in and, yada, yada, yada. That I personally feel it's a huge mistake for people to buy any house without that representation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes you can be buying yourself a load of problems. I told you the other day about one of our buyers that came in, going to buy a house for $225,000, did her inspection. It needs $25,000 worth of repairs. She goes, looks at it, and I told her, why don't you look at another house in the area, which is $339, so it's a $14,000 difference. Perhaps you haven't got to do $25,000 worth of repairs.
Exactly.
And money's cheap at the moment. And I think it's the same sort of thing. We've sold new houses with some new home builders, and we told buyers not to buy this house. It's brand new construction because the drainage goes the wrong way. If there's a flooding problem, which in Houston sometimes that happens, the water just drains straight into the house. And because we do such a large volume of new construction homes, and we knew some of the owners who have bought different houses, we haven't bought any houses on that particular street that I'm thinking of. Then we found out that on that street, 4 houses flooded previously.
Oh, okay.
Only because we've got an insurance company.
Sure.
That just goes to show that I think it's a strategic move.
Well, they're just they're lining their pockets with money.
Well, it goes back to the whole, timber's up by 42% that we spoke about 3 months ago. I haven't seen the prices be lowered by anything at all.
They're not going to lower them because once we get used to paying a certain price for something, they're just going to leave it there. It won't go back down. Like the baggage fees. When the baggage fees got added in the airlines, because the gas prices were so high, they went back down. They never went away.
That was my biggest disappointment. That payment structure, it was my biggest disappointment when I went to Europe recently. I thought, wow, we've got a good price on a ticket here. Then when you do the ticket, they're charging you for
bags.
They're charging you for even a little handbag. Not that I carry a handbag, but my wife does.
Everything.
It was sort of disappointing.
And
bit of a cheap shot, really. I mean, that's all.
The quality. This is how I knew that these builders, they're in it for this money. So if you pull up Starlight Homes, okay? Starlight Homes is, let's see, sure I got it right. Starlight Homes is a entry level builder, so to speak. Well, no, they're. I think they're. We got some here, if I'm not mistaken.
Well. There's some in Houston.
Yeah, but Starlight Homes is. Was it David?
Oh,
David?
It's a line of Saratoga.
No. It's a line of builder. It's a David Weekly. Hold on, I'm gonna find out. It's a major builder. Hold on, Starlight Home. I want to say it was the David Weekly. No, Ashton. I think it was Ashton Woods. I think it's Ashton Woods, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, go down to the bottom, Jack. Very, very, very bottom, right there. Starlight Homes is an Ashton Woods company. Ashton Woods, they put out a nice home, but because their prices were higher, they weren't getting it. So you got your LGIs and your KBs and those kind of volume builders. They weren't dipping their toe in the market. So they figured, you know what? I'm going to make a cheaper end home so we can get in there and get a little bit of this. And this is what they put out. So my thought was, would Louis Vuitton ever decide they're going to make some bottom basement bag to sell in Walmart? No, they're not going to do that. If you want a Louis Vuitton bag, guess what? You got to go to Saks or to the Louis Vuitton store or Neiman Marcus to get it. They're not going to go down and back their brand down to something that's going to be this lower level kind of deal.
I agree with you.
And it's a money grab.
But the difference is you can't live in a handbag, but you need a home to live in.
You do. But thinking that the history that Ashton Woods has had as a home builder to put out this kind of product. A lot of the
builders do that, though. Not just Starlight Homes. There's a lot of builders that have a lower end home, maybe even a middle, and even a high end home.
You just don't expect Rolls-Royce to put out an electric car, or this little hatchback Bug Beetle or something like that. Because they do put out a nice house. No knock on Ashton Woods, but
my concern
they're trying to get
not
in the money.
Necessarily this builder, but some of the reviews that they have. Some of the reviews that you honestly look at it and think,
is it real?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be there. I mean, you can get enough people to go to your.
Did you know there's an investigation into Amazon at the moment?
Mm-mm. On what kind?
On for reviews.
Oh, really?
I'll pull the article up.
Yeah, I did not know that. Doesn't surprise me.
I have the article, actually.
Doesn't surprise me. They do ask you for a review, though, once you order a package.
One of the parts that I just want to touch base with you is, and I'm not talking specifically for this company, but one of the biggest mistakes, and I know you've definitely got an opinion on what I'm going to talk about now, but a lot of the builders, they give you all these upgrades, give you the closing costs, they give you, so-called deal on the financing, all, the upgrades and everything else, but you and I know, only because we're experienced, over the term of the loan, you pay more, don't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because
and
usually they'll charge you more in fees.
When you really look at what you're paying over a time, it's not beneficial at all, is it?
Because you can end up paying more in fees.
And if it's negotiated properly, to be perfectly honest, if you've got a good agent that negotiates properly, then negotiate the title company anyway.
Right. Yeah, that's why, but kind of back to the point that you brought up, it's important to hire a professional. And when I say hire a professional, you're not having to pay them. It doesn't cost
you anything.
It's not costing you anything.
What it shouldn't do.
It costs you time.
Yeah, time. But you need to get a representative that is
understands the industry
in your behalf.
And it's
the builders don't work for you.
Right. And how I normally reference this is, I said, it's a little bit like, well, I've got a problem with my foot, right? But it just so happens I'm going to go to a GP, but I really need a surgeon after my foot.
Right.
That is the same. It's the same with buying a house. A good, experienced realtor bought some new houses, knows the market, sometimes even knows what the house across the street's gone for.
And don't
before it even goes on the MLS.
Don't take your anecdotal experience that, my mom bought a house by herself. You don't need a realtor. Yeah, you don't need a realtor to buy a house. But that doesn't make it wise to do it without a realtor. It's important that you get someone that has your interest at heart, that can help explain things to you, that can negotiate for you on your behalf. And that's in any transaction.
You don't need an attorney to go to court. You can go in there and stand in front of the judge and say what you want.
Is that the best idea? Probably.
You saw that joker, I can't remember his name, that black guy that was representing himself in the courtroom. The judge said, you know what, you did a pretty good job, but 40 to life, you're going to jail. I mean, it's like, man, come on, that's not wise. It's not wise to do it. It's stupid. Not your realm, but